Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Razzball Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I am Beat On, joined by the one, the only Gray Albright. How's it going over there, Gray?
Good, man. Good. I just felt this weird breeze, like behind me, and I turned around and I saw like the back of a Tampa Bay Rays jersey. It might have been Chandler SImpson. I don't know. Something just ran through my office, and all I felt was like a gust of wind, and I didn't actually see anyone.
Just enough to see the Rays like logo as it vaguely disappeared away from you.
Yeah, it either said the Rays or the Yays. There's no Yays, right? Yays isn't a thing. It was hard to read it. It was fast. You know what I'm saying? I actually, while we were doing the intro, the 15-second intro that we have, I was looking up on the Google for the fastest person in the world to see who it was, and I was expecting to see someone I would have recognized, but nah, I'm totally out. Either I'm totally out of the loop, or the Google AI is not correct. I've never heard of Noah Lyles. I don't know. Maybe everyone knows him, and I sound like an idiot right now. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know who that is. I was expecting Chandler SImpson to show up on the Google, but he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Lyles was a U.S. track star. I don't know that I would say he's the fastest person in the world. I would assume that's Usain Bolt still, but maybe there was one where like Lyles beat him. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see. Actually, Usain Bolt is number 2 according to Google AI. Noah Lyles is currently considered the fastest man in the world. Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world, but he is no longer the fastest. I guess he slowed down.
He stopped training for the Olympics, so that happens. I guess.
Yeah, that's like if you were to ask it like who's the best basketball player, and it would be like, it would say whoever the top guy is right now. I guess who's that? LeBron? I guess actually that comparison doesn't work because it is LeBron. I don't know. I literally know so little about other sports. It's kind of scary. People will be to me like, "Oh, have you gone to see a football game this year?" And I'll be like, "What football games are there?" They're like, "Well, there's a team that plays like 20 minutes from you." And I'm like, I don't know who they are.
There's 2 teams that actually play 20 minutes from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so bad at other sports. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Let's stop highlighting my stupidity and actually talk about this baseball stuff, huh?
Yeah, and then we'll talk about the stuff you think that we are also wrong about on majority of time. I don't know. Well, let's just talk about it anyways. Let's talk about. There's a bunch of call-ups, Gray. Chandler SImpson got called up this year in AAA. He's hitting 301, 325, 329 with 8 stolen bases, a 9% K rate, and a 3.8% walk rate. That was in 17 games. He has a low K rate at every stop. It's under 10% at every single place he's played. That at least 40 games. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. They may platoon him, but at least he'll be on the strong side as he is a lefty. From the plate, he fields righty, but we don't really care about that at all. He's hit leadoff and 9th so far. Where are you at on Chandler SImpson, Gray?
Well, I think there should be like in 2024 in the minors, he had 104 steals. Okay, so that's an LOL, right? I feel like at a certain point, stats should stop being listed as numbers, and you should just write like LOL if something is just so ridiculous. Like, and 104 steals is an LOL. Like that is just like, I mean, what is that? That's crazy. What, 104 steals? Okay. I mean, I guess he's fast, huh? I feel like with Chandler SImpson, he's just a straight steals play. As good as his contact has been in the minors, I wouldn't even like. I personally, I feel like he could probably hit 280, 290, but I wouldn't even look at him as like a batting average play. I would just look at him as a straight steals play. So if you're like in need of steals, then you go for Chandler SImpson. And if you don't need steals, then maybe you don't aggressively go after him as much. But I think he's kind of guy who could potentially, I mean, he might steal 50 bags this year. I mean, it's possible, right? Like, I don't think there's any number for his steals that is off the table. Even in like what are we at? Like maybe 5 months and a week left of the season. I think even at that point, the truly baffling thing, and the thing I really don't know, because I don't know like what goes on with the minor league guys as much as say like Itch might know, but I don't really understand why he was even in the minors. He's 24 years old. He stole 94 bags in 2023 and he hit 293 with a 11% strikeout rate. Like, why was he in the minors at all, other than, the obvious, like, oh, the Rays were dragging their heels because of service time. I mean, maybe that's the reason, but other than that, like, what on earth was he doing in the minors? I have no idea. I don't understand why he was in the minors. But, for us, he's not going to hit for any power. I think there could be a concern. At least I think there's a concern that maybe he hits for a slightly lower average than like he did in the minors. In the minors, he was regularly hitting over 300. There could be a case to be made that he's going to hit for a little bit less on the average because he just doesn't hit the ball that hard. Maybe, but he's so fast. I mean, we saw it in the Sunday game with the Yankees. Like, he basically just beat out a play at first. I mean, originally there was like a call for an error, but it got overturned. But yeah, I mean, whatever the case is, no one was beating him to the bag. So when you're like so fast, you can beat the first baseman to the bag on a grounder. That's really fast. So he's probably going to end up with like a 340 plus BABIP, probably at least a 270 average, I would think. And, the steals are really like the sky's the limit on the steals. It's just a matter of how many times he is given the green light, I think. As for whether he hits first or ninth, in the first game he played on Saturday, he hit leadoff. So I think that's a pretty good sign that, he may actually even hit leadoff for a majority of the games. And if he does, then his run should be really good. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. Like, I feel like in any league, there's really no reason not to pick up Chandler SImpson. Like, he feels like even there's got to be at least one team in every league that really needs steals. So he's like, I mean, he's rosterable in every league, I would think. It may not be for your team. He may not be rosterable for you necessarily if you don't need steals, but for someone in your league, he's definitely rosterable. To give people an idea, on Fab this weekend, he went for around $160 to $180 relative, depending on the league. For that's a 15-team league. He went for between $160 and $180. And then in like 112-team league, he went for $160. So in the same range, essentially. I didn't actually. I got him in our RCL league, which is a daily league, a daily 12-team mixed league. But I didn't get him anywhere else. I didn't bid to get him because I have Ellie De La Cruz in just about every league, so he should get me steals. So I didn't want to really double up on the speed guys, but yeah, I like him a lot for steals and potentially batting average and potentially runs.
Yeah, I agree. The batting average is the part we won't know about really. He is, pretty much a line drive ground ball hitter, as you would expect. not a ton of power, a negative launch angle in his, 2 games. So, hold off on any judgment on the launch angle for now. But yeah, I mean, he should run. He already has a stolen base. And when you don't strike out and you put the ball in play with that much speed, I mean, you can just fall into some average, even if you're not a great hitter. So yeah, I agree. I think he should be picked up across all leagues. You may not be the team that needs him, but you could probably grab him. And if he does run like we think he's capable of, and Tampa Bay has shown they'll let guys run, then even if you don't need him, you can always trade him. So it's probably a worthwhile, gamble, just given the potential upside. Moving on to the next call up here, Gray, is Nick Kurtz. AAA this year, he has 20 games, 7 home runs, 321, 385, 655. I mean, those are ridiculous numbers, Gray. It wasn't really so much a question of was he ready to join the team so much as where is he going to play? And that question still I pose to you, Gray. Where is he going to play?
I would guess that he's probably going to be DHing and or they're going to DH Soderstrom or Rooker will get outfield. Rooker will go to the outfield, and it's probably going to hurt Miguel Andujar, but Miguel Andujar was hurting himself, unfortunately. They're calling up. He's definitely going to play. I would guess, probably DH, maybe first base, but he'll play. I'm not concerned about whether or not he's going to. It's just, I guess, a matter of where, but he will for sure. He's basically the polar opposite of Chandler SImpson in what their skills are, but just as loud, really. Like Kurtz could potentially hit 30 plus homers for this season. And that's again, 5 months in a week. I mean, missing essentially a month of the season, and he could still hit 30 homers this year. I would guess he's going to be somewhere in the middle of the lineup too. I mean, I would imagine maybe they move Langoliers down a spot or Blade down a spot. Maybe he hits 4th or 5th, somewhere in there. I would be shocked if he's hitting at the bottom of the lineup just because he's a rookie. I mean, that makes no sense, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, the one thing I think also with similar to Chandler, I think probably his biggest question mark might be the average. Like in the minors, like you mentioned, he was hitting for a good average. I don't think he wasn't really striking out an insane amount, but 27% in the minor leagues probably going to translate to roughly 28, 29, maybe 30% in the majors. So that could probably equate to roughly a 235, 245 hitter, which is fine. I mean, that's not bad when you throw in the 30 plus homer power for just this year. Again, he's basically, I would assume he's going to be, rostered in every single league. Just like I said with SImpson, I would imagine he goes, next, he wasn't available in the leagues yet, in a lot of leagues yet, because he wasn't called up yet. So he was, so he'll probably be going this Sunday in Fab. I would say roughly, again, between $175 and $200, I would guess, out of 1,000. So out of 100, that's roughly $17 to $25. I would go for it. I think he could be one of the biggest call ups, if not the biggest call up of the year. I would absolutely try and get him on my team. I already actually drafted him in one draft champions league, and I looked at him. I looked to see if I could pick him up in our RCL league, but he was already rostered. So he's a guy for every league. There's no question you should go out and try and grab him or acquire him however you can. I would say, potential best call up of the year And at worst, it ends up to be like a Cam Smith situation where it's all hype, and he struggles a little bit because with rookies, this goes for any rookies really, and not just Nick Kurtz or Cam Smith. I mean, rookies get called up. Sometimes they get overwhelmed by the call up and they don't do as well. Like I've mentioned this about 1,000 times previously, but like if you look at Mike Trout's call up numbers, Mike Trout wasn't good when he was first called up. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything if he's not good right off the bat, but he should be. And all things being equal, you want a guy who should be good. So, yeah, I would grab him.
Yeah, I mean, he should be good. You mentioned everything. Plus, he's going to play in that park, which is also going to help. All things equal. It should be a good landing spot for him right now. Like you said, pick him up across the board. I think those are primarily your leagues that he's not available in. I think for most normal people, he's available. So yes, I think 15 to 20% of your fab, just depending on how much you're looking for, a first base / corner infielder in a power first type of build, because that's what he is. But he is, as good of a prospect for those couple of things as you're going to get this season. And, Gray mentioned the K rate at 27%. That's in 20 games, and that's the most games he's played at any stop since being drafted. So realistically, we don't even know what his K rate is going to look like. It's kind of just going off such small samples that there's really nothing other than the fact that we know he can hit the ball with some authority, that I'm taking a whole lot from the numbers. But yeah, grab him up.
I mean, he's like basically like in one league where I have him, the Draft Champions League, I have Kyle Manzardo as well, who I think he just hit a home run on Sunday. But to give people an idea, I benched Manzardo and am starting Kurtz this week. It's a weekly league. Well, it's Monday through Thursday. But anyway, I'm starting Kurtz. So this way people can play along when Manzardo has a 4-homer game on Tuesday, and people can mock me. Because that's absolutely going to happen, because that's my luck. But anyway, with Kurtz though, we'll say the thing is with him, or like his skill set is somewhat replaceable. Like maybe not, maybe he is like he comes up and he's playing in Bing Bong Stadium in Sacktown, and he hits 45 homers by June, like Tyler Soderstrom. I mean, maybe that happens. I'm not ruling it out. It could, I guess, but in reality, I mean, it's like Nick Kurtz or say Jake Berger. I mean, maybe probably the same thing. I mean, probably. I mean, I would go for Kurtz just for the upside and, for what could be. But in reality, they might be similar. Like, it's like what Wilmer Flores did in April versus what Nick Kurtz is going to do in May. I mean, maybe the same, maybe not. I mean, Kurtz has the upside again, but I mean, I'm just trying to reel people in back to reality here, that it's like, he's a rookie. I mean, I would grab him still. Don't get me wrong. I love the upside. I am so horny for upside. Sorry. That might have sounded weird.
Yeah, but that's not great, Gray. We're not being reported, and we've lost all funding from YouTube. Thanks. That's awesome.
We've been deplatformed from everywhere. I do love the upside, but I'm just trying to be realistic here that we'll see. I like him though. Absolutely grab him.
Would you rather have him or hot start to the season, a little banged up right now, Ben Rice? If you're looking at roster spot.
Ben Rice hitting leadoff, assuming Ben Rice is healthy, obviously, but if Ben Rice is hitting leadoff in front of Aaron Judge, I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's like, it could easily be Rice, you know? I will go Nick Kurtz, though, because the upside for Kurtz and also Rice, we saw this last year with Rice, where he hit well for like 3 weeks and then he flamed out. So I'll go Kurtz, but it's, again, that's kind of where we're at here. I mean, it might, that's a tough call. And, you know, I think, like I was thinking like Christian Walker, who is absolutely struggling so bad. And you have to wonder if he's healthy, right? But Christian Walker and Nick Kurtz, I'm still going Walker, but that's the kind of thing that could potentially end up being Kurtz.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be Kurtz there. Same. What about like Nathaniel Lowe, who's been off to a good start this season? Is that a definite Kurtz?
Yeah, definitely Kurtz. I don't like Nathaniel Lowe.
I know you've never liked Nathaniel Lowe, and I feel like he's just one of those underappreciated guys anyways. But yes, I would make that swap because you could probably get Nathaniel Lowe back at some point or somebody very similar.
Yeah. Well, that was actually someone in the comments today asked me, did they screw up by dropping Vientos for Cam Smith? And I was like, well, I mean, if you're in a league where Cam Smith was still available, you could just re-pick up Vientos if he gets hot. So it's fine, you know, like, so it depends on the league. Like Nathaniel Lowe, in the same way that you're saying, like, yeah, I mean, Nathaniel Lowe might be better, but if you're in a league where you can pick up Kurtz right now, then drop Lowe and just pick him up again if Kurtz is not good. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Another call up grade. We're going in Luke Keaschall. Keaschall? I'm going to go Keaschall for now. AAA this year, he had 14 games.
We went from like sexy, hot to lukewarm.
Hey, maybe his pronunciation is something really interesting, Grain, and we're just butchering it. I did not look at the official MLB pronunciation guide this time, how to pronounce his name, so I apologize. But 14 games this year in AAA is hitting 261, 379, 348. He has a home run, 4 stolen bases, 19% K rate, and a 15.5% walk rate. Last year across high A and double A, he had 15 home runs and 23 stolen bases and hit 303, 420. He has hit 2nd, 7th, and 8th for the Twins so far since being called up. What's your interest level in Luke Keaschall?
I feel like Rocco Baldelli, Twins manager, I think he takes whatever a hitter is going to do and he divides it by like 75%. I think that's like what you get with the Twins. No matter what, like every hitter, it's like you're going to get 3/4 of what you think you're going to get because Baldelli is going to just either platoon him in a weird way or move him around the lineup so he has no idea where he's hitting. Like I feel like Baldelli gets less out of his players than another manager might. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in that. That's how it feels though, because like everyone we ever get excited about for the Twins, it's like, well, it's like Alex Kirilloff is selling real estate in Florida right now. You know, I mean, it's a living. I'm not, I'm not downplaying real estate in Florida. You know, you might get a good deal, but I don't think like Baldelli gets the best out of his guys. Like, and like the fact that you have someone like you call up a guy, I've been talking about this on the site as well. Like you call up a guy like Luke Keaschall, Luke Keaschall by the Keashore. You call up this guy, Luke, and he looks like he could potentially be a spark plug. And then you look at what Baldelli does, and it's like, oh, yeah, Keaschall will be playing against lefties once a week. It's like, okay. You just, like, completely ruin the guy's, like, any sort of flow a guy might have. It's just, like, out the window, man. Like, and then it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll bat Ty France third all season. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what is that? Ty France? Anyway, long story short, I don't really trust Baldelli to get the most out of Keaschall. I mean, he looks like he's got solid contact. He kind of looks a little bit on the boring side, like not huge power, not huge speed, mostly a hit tool guy. Maybe he runs a bit. Maybe he gets into a 15-15 type season while hitting 270 with maybe a 16 to 20% strikeout rate. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan though. The fact that he's a righty on the Twins means he may not face righties, which is just the death of a fantasy value. So yeah, I mean, I'm lukewarm. We're back, circular conversation we got going on here.
Yeah, way to bring it back to the beginning of the argument, Gray. That was a good, high school debate team fundamentals there.
And that's why I'm against the penalty.
That's why he's a professional, ladies and gentlemen. He gets paid the mediocre bucks. That's right. Which is better than the $0 that the rest of us get paid. So, that's something. But yeah, Keaschall. I looked it up. Keaschall. He is interesting if he gets playing time. I just don't, like you said, it's the Twins. They've already benched him once since being called up.
It's ridiculous.
And like you said, they're just boring their way through it. It's kind of the AL Rockies, except that they're actually competitive sometimes. I mean, they did score like the 10th most runs last season with a lineup that looked very terrible, honestly. and looking at this lineup, you're like, they may be managing it wrong, but also it's Edward Julian, Byron Buxton, Willie Castro's hitting third. That can't be right. Ty France is hitting cleanup. Trevor Larnach fifth. Carlos Correa is sixth. Ryan Jeffers, Harrison Bader, and like whoever they start in right field, Deshaun Kersey or Keaschall should probably be starting there now. Like, it's a bad lineup, and they still score runs somehow. So I won't completely say that he gets nothing out of them, but you're right in that it's like a combination of Tampa Bay and Colorado that just plummets anybody who's not like an old vet there, because they just don't get the playing time, or they're moved throughout the lineup to where they don't get enough plate appearances.
The Ty France and Kyle Farmer is like a 3-hole hitter for the Rockies and the Twins, respectively. It's like both guys should be out of the league. I mean, it's like ridiculous. I mean, it just does not make any sense. As for Fab, I will say I did actually get Keaschall, but that was because his price more than anything. I got him in Fab at $23 out of 1,000, so roughly $2 to $3 out of 100. I don't know. It's a flyer. It's not much more. I had room for a flyer, so I took one.
Yeah, I don't think we're not putting him on the level of the first two that we discussed. He's definitely more on the flyer level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we will see what happens with him. Anything can happen with prospects. They get called up, they're hot, but we're gonna wait and see where his playing time and where he hits in the lineup before we go full Kurtz. Caleb Durbin is up next for us, Gray. This year in Milwaukee in AAA in 13 games, he has a couple of home runs, 3 stolen bases. He's hitting 278, 316, 481. He has an 8.5% K rate and a 5% walk rate. Last year in AAA in 90 games for the Yankees, he had 10 home runs, 31 stolen bases, and at 275, 388, 451. He's another low strikeout guy. 12.1% was his highest, and that was even in a very small sample size stop. So another guy who's not going to strike out, getting called up. What are your thoughts on Caleb Durbin? There was some hype on him in draft season, and then he got injured, which kind of, put the halt on it a little bit, and then he got demoted. So we weren't going to see him immediately. What are your thoughts now?
Yeah, I mean, the Brewers, they stole 9 bags on Sunday, and they run. They don't mind running. Bryce Terang, for instance, I mean, he might steal 50 again. Like they definitely run, and that's Durbin's major first tool, really, that we're worried that I think will actually cash in on in fantasy league. So if you're looking for steals again, like I feel like Durbin's probably a step down from Chandler SImpson. I don't know if he's gonna. I think Durbin's not quite as well. He's not quite as fast because Chandler SImpson's insanely fast. But I mean, he's probably also a light hitting, light hitting third baseman slash, if he has middle infield eligibility. But he's not going to hit probably for a great average because he's probably going to have, it's probably going to be weak contact. And if he's, if he hits the ball in the air more, which it seems to be, he might hit for a few homers, like maybe 5 to 7 homers, but that also could hurt his average a little bit. So, he's projected right now by other people to hit around 235. I don't know. I mean, that might be a little bit low, but that could be. I mean, maybe I'd say probably 245, but that's a roughly that's in the same ballpark. So yeah, I'm just getting at that, like he might only be steals, and also the Brewers seem really content on hitting him 9th, which is a bit of that hurts his fantasy value. I was actually surprised at how high he went in Fab this past weekend. Like in one of my leagues, he went for $242 out of 1,000. That's a lot for Caleb Durbin, I think. Maybe I'm misreading the situation. And that wasn't just one league. In another league, he went for $211. So that's in 2 leagues, he went for over $200. I think I bid like maybe $40 to $50. Like I knew I wasn't going to get him. I was just keeping people honest, but still like $200+ for Caleb Durbin seems like nuts. And it makes me think Chandler SImpson's going to go for like over $350 this coming Sunday. So, but anyway, in most leagues though, where you don't have to worry about a fab and you can just pick up off a waiver wire, pick them up if you need steals and you have a spot in your lineup for a corner or a middle infielder. I think he could actually be a difference maker in steals, but I don't know if you're going to get any other category out of him because, if he's hitting 9th and his average may not be that incredible. So, yeah, I don't mind him for steals, though.
Yeah, I don't either. It's kind of one of those where if you put in the fab request for, you're going and swinging for the fences with Chandler SImpson and you'll get him and you put Caleb Durbin as your backup plan, that's fine. I think it's more in the realm of like, Jose Ramirez type of speed for Caleb Durbin, whereas Chandler SImpson's going to be like, elite levels, Bobby Witt Jr., Victor Scott, Trey Turner type of speed. He's still very useful, but like you said, he seems to be hitting 9th. Dual eligibility is helpful, but unless you're really looking for some speed, I don't know if there's a whole lot more there. As you mentioned, projections are very low on the average, and I kind of think he might have a little bit of low average, but again, he's fast enough, and in a small sample, you can definitely get some batting average luck with that. So we'll see what happens with Caleb Durbin. I would say grab him if you're looking for speed from either quarter or middle, because he can go both spots, so that's nice. Next call up, Greg. Tirso Ornelas for the Padres, 17 games this year. He has a home run, 3 stolen bases. He's hitting 281, 418, 359, 21.5% K rate, 16.5% walk rate. 128 games last year. He had 23 home runs, 7 stolen bases, hit at 297, 367, 497. It looks like he's going to hit in the bottom of the Padres lineup. Merrill, Hayward, Cronenworth, Lockridge, all on the IL. So they don't have anybody else in the outfield right now. Are you interested in Tirso?
A bit so. I want to see how the Padres play, how much they play him, because I'm not 100% sure the Padres are committed to him, and the way they've sort of dragged their heels on even playing him at all, like coming out of in the camp they went with Jason Hayward over him, like they feel very non-committal with Ornelas. So it's like if they don't like him, I don't know how much I should like him, and they might have a reason for not liking him. I don't know that reason necessarily, but there's something, like, because if you just look at his numbers, he looks like he should have been in the majors to start this year. Like, why wouldn't they commit to him over Hayward? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. But if you look at his numbers, you're like, why wouldn't they go with him? But they didn't. So the fact that they didn't makes me think that, like, he might platoon a little bit for over the next, like, week or so. And when Hayward returns, he just gets sent back to the minors. So yeah, I wouldn't bid too much. I would just like sort of wait and see. I mean, obviously NL only, you have to do what you have to do, but in a mixed league, I will see.
Yeah, I think he had some buzz in spring training. Just we thought that he might get the job. As you mentioned, he didn't get the job. They went with any number of people instead of him, including Jason Hayward, as you mentioned, before giving him this part-time work potentially. I like him. If they're going to give him the opportunity, I would go ahead and grab him and see if they are. Mostly power, a little bit of speed. His hit for good average across the board at different stops. Projected in like the 240 range, so kind of projected in the same range as most of these guys. But again, when we're going from minors to majors, that projection is sometimes a little difficult because it just depends on the prospect and how they kind of enter the league. Next up is Agustin Ramirez. 25 games, this year in AAA, 18 games. He has 3 home runs, 5 stolen bases, 258, 320, 500. Across the Yankees, AA, AAA, and then Miami, AAA last year after getting traded, he had 126 games where he had 25 home runs, 22 stolen bases, hit 267, 358, and 487. Main interest here being, Gray, he's a catcher who can potentially hit. Are you interested in a prospect catcher?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was really excited about seeing him get called up. I think, we'll see how much he plays. I would guess that now that because the Marlins traded Jazz Chisholm for him, I would guess that, now that he's called up, he's going to play for good. I would doubt that they're going to send him back once, Rob Brantley or whatever gets healthy again, or Nick Fortes, or all the other ridiculous Marlins catchers, Liam Hicks. I honestly, some of these names might be made up. I think Ramirez, like, you look at his minor league numbers, and it's like not only can he hit, but he also can steal some bags. Like he could potentially be at worst like a 12-12 catcher, and that's like, that's being really pessimistic. Like he's got some pop, and he can steal bag, and he could hit like for an average. So yeah, I'm super excited about seeing him. I think mostly, it depends on the league. So I would grab him in just about any 12-team league. If you're struggling at catcher just for a flyer, why not? It's catcher, so go for the upside. And then in a 15-team mixed league, absolutely. NL only, obviously, absolutely. He's probably already rostered in those leagues, but yeah, I like him. I think there could be something really here. I feel like outside of like he might actually be like third out of the guys we've mentioned. Like Chandler, SImpson, and Nick Kurtz are on their own level. And then Durbin and Ramirez are sort of like 2A and 2B for me. Like they're pretty close. So I like Ramirez a lot. Agustin.
Yeah, and getting, a power speed out of catcher is a pretty rare thing as well. So yeah, if he can come up and give you a little bit of both, which also helps kind of settle the unevenness of fantasy value that you can get from prospects early on. If the average tanks a little bit at different times, if they're still, hitting home runs and stealing bases, especially a catcher, they can still be very worthwhile. Next up, Jace Jung, 19 games last year, 3 home runs, a stolen base, 239, 409, 463, 25% K rate, 22.7% walk rate. 91 games last year, he had 14 home runs, 2 stolen bases, and hit 257, 377, 454. Are you interested in Jace Jung?
Not particularly.
Okay, then. We'll move on then. Great. We can
I mean, my big problem is I don't know really what his playing time is going to be like. I mean, I guess he's going to platoon at third is my assumption. Even though like Javi Baez was like, he was an all-star in 2018. I mean, just going to give up on that? That sounds crazy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jace Jung has like a massive upside in any particular category. Like maybe he's like, if he plays every day from now until the end of the season, maybe you're looking at like 15 to 17 homers and hits 230 with no speed. And it's like, yeah. I think you can do better in most leagues. But, in the AL only, obviously, sure. 15-team mixed league, maybe if you're really desperate for upside, I guess you could try them. But I'm not really a huge fan.
Yeah, I don't think I'm really interested in Jace Jung either, unless you're just really kind of looking around and trying to figure out the position. And for what it's worth, Gray, Javi Baez has started in center field for the first time in his career.
Also, so, Javi Baez is a 2018 All-Star. I'm just saying, you don't give up on that. That's what I'm saying.
The problem is, Gray, he's under contract for 2 more years after this season. So what are you going to do with it?
What's worse? Javi Baez's contract or Javi Baez against the slider? Let's see.
Yeah, that's a good question, Gray.
Maybe for another day. Okay, let's move on.
There's no cap, so I mean, I guess the contract, you just spend more money. That would be my solution.
It's not our money though, so
it's not really their money either. They're making money at this point. Whatever. Moving on, Gray. There's a bunch of relief pitchers called up in Arizona. Some are failed starters, maybe eventually getting a chance, but right now, AJ Puck is going to the IL. Joe Manapli, Jarvis, they're all going they're going to AAA because
I'm sorry. It's J Puck.
Oh, is it actually periods, Gray? Are we sure about that? I just want to make sure before we make that clarification.
The pronunciation guide, that's how you pronounce it, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I apologize to J Puck. He's going to the IL. Manapli, Jarvis go to AAA because that's what happens when you give up 11 earned runs in 2 innings to the Cubs and lose a game in which you put up 10 earned runs in 1 inning. Justin Martinez has been struggling to rebound. I mean, Dre Jameson, JP Ferguson, and Juan Murillo are the 3 people getting called up. Any interest in these 3, Gray?
No, but the Justin Martinez is he's been struggling to bounce back after a relief appearance, and the guy behind him is Shelby Miller. So this kind of is like this is a bit of a toss up right now. There is an opportunity for someone to emerge who we don't know of yet. It could be Dre Jamison, maybe. I wouldn't count on it, but it could be. Jalen Beeks is a lefty, so that's going against him. Maybe Shelby Miller does get some saves. I mean, I don't know. This is a bit of a mess, though. We'll see if Justin Martinez looks good. If Justin Martinez actually comes back and saves a game or two in a row, then I would have more confidence in this in him. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. I'll be honest. If I were speculating, I'd probably grab Shelby Miller, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, it does sound a little crazy, but I'm with you. I think that's where we're looking at next, or Jalen Beeks. I would assume, given that the other three started in the minors, they're not next in line. But who knows? Arizona's kind of a mess in their bullpen. I feel like we always knew that was going to be a problem, but it's really been a problem, maybe as much as the Cubs bullpen. Another bullpen call-up was Craig Yoho. He was called up by the Brewers. Any concerns on Trevor McGill's job?
No, Craig Yoho. That's how I answer my phone. Yoo-hoo. Anyway, Craig Yoho, I think he could be the closer, but so could Abner Uribe. And the Brewers don't seem interested in going that route. So I don't think they're going to go with Yoho either. I think McGill is the closer until at least like end of July and he's traded. And then, then maybe Uribe or Yoho gets an opportunity. But for now, I think the Brewers want McGill to get the saves, so this way they could trade him. I believe that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, Gray. That, in regards to just getting his value up so they can move him. And maybe Arizona comes calling sooner rather than later as well. It may happen because they need it. Cubs, also, if we're going to do anything other than sign Kyle Tucker, we could maybe address the bullpen. That might help a little bit. Stash candidates, Gray. I mean, we talked about all these call-ups. Is that who's next on the list? I think last time we talked, we definitely said Roman Anthony, Kobe Mayo. I think they are, if not clear 1 and 2, they're definitely among the top 5 call-ups. Roman Anthony, I think, is the number 1 prospect. Left in the minors still at this point. Anybody else that you're looking at?
Can Roman Anthony play first? Because I got a guy by the name of Tristan Houses that is really just not looking good. I got a couple replace. I got a guy I want to replace at first. If that's possible.
I mean, Devers can go play first, right? He doesn't need to throw to play there. And just DH Anthony or somebody else.
Oh my God! Costa.
Also, who can't play first base? Like I feel like anybody who plays baseball can play first base.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. Also, Kobe Mayo is like, the Orioles have Charlie Morton as their ace. maybe they could have traded Kobe Mayo for a starter, possibly. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I mean, it seems like Jesus Luzardo was available in the offseason. I don't know. It's like I think the next big one to get called up outside of those two guys, maybe Bubba Chandler. I've been waiting for Andrew Painter in a couple leagues, deeper leagues, but I have Painter stashed. Zebby Matthews, maybe. I don't know if there's a couple guys in the minors, but like Jordan Lawler, for instance. I mean, he's been ready since 2022. What's going on there? I don't know. I have no idea. Marcelo Mayer, I guess, could replace Casas potentially. Bryce Eldridge looks like he could be a star, but I don't know if he's coming up relatively soon. So yeah, I mean, maybe one of these guys that we've mentioned. I don't know. You have any guys you're thinking of?
On the catcher front, Samuel Basallo, if Baltimore wants to look at, he could also play first base since Ryan Mountcastle is, not exactly killing it right now. So Samuel Basallo could be somebody they could look at bringing up. That would be something. I don't know. Kobe Mayo could potentially move over there as well, or they could shift some things around and fill that spot in a couple different ways.
Basallo, if past performance by the Orioles is indicative of future, I'll say Basallo comes up in 3 years, looks terrible, and they have like Patrick Corbin as their ace, and they're just flailing. That's what I imagine is going to happen. If anything we've seen from the Orioles of the last couple of years is true.
Yeah, that is such a strong offense to be looking at versus that starting rotation. It is absolutely embarrassing. I understand they've lost Eflin and Grayson. But still, it is really bad for a team that was supposed to compete for the AL East this year. You got to take it more seriously than that. Brandon Sproat, Jacob Mizorowski, Quinn Matthews on the pitching side, Kyle Teal, those guys in deeper leagues you can potentially look at. But I think we covered the primary names, and Anthony Mayo, Lawler, Chandler, and Zebby. I think those are the main ones. Maybe Mayer, maybe like Evan Carter, but the Rangers seem to hate him. They've had at least 3 opportunities to bring him up already this season and really haven't. And for what it's worth, he's not really pushing their hand in the minors either. And
excuse me, they have Kevin Pillar, okay? So I mean,
that's worse than being beat out by Jason Hayward. At least Hayward plays defense still.
They have Kevin Pillar and Jock Peterson, who is hitting a $103. I think that's a number I made up, but it sounds right.
Evan Carter's hitting 167 in AAA right now, so
he's not really pressing them.
He's not really pushing their hand. He does have a 22% walk rate. Yeah, a 352 OBP is very nice, but you can't put the ball actually in play. That's not ideal.
He's probably in the minors, and he's getting. It's like the minor league pitchers are like can't find the plate, and he's like, please just throw a strike.
I just want to hit home runs so I can get out of here. I'm just swinging at everything. Whatever. I'm either walking or I'm hitting it out.
Oh, man. Yeah. All
right, Gray. Let's move over to our favorite segment. Let's talk about some sagging off closers. Devin Williams got.
Devin. Okay, good.
Yeah, Devin Williams got hit by Tampa Bay. He's had 3 bad outings this season. The rest have been fine for what it's worth. Are you interested in grabbing up Luke Weaver or anybody else in the Yankees bullpen yet?
I've been stashing Luke Weaver in a few leagues for a couple weeks now. I haven't really liked how Devin Williams has looked since the beginning of the season. And also, I feel like a lot of people forgot about the fact that Devin Williams missed like half of last year. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. It's probably a bit of bad luck, a little bit of that. I would look at Luke Weaver though, potentially to potential saves. I think it could happen with like Devin Williams going on like a phantom IL stint. I wouldn't be shocked by it. So yeah. So let's move on to Class A. You got Class A problems?
There's all sorts of problems, Gray. He continues to struggle. I mean, there's all sorts of options there. I think Cade Smith would be up next, but what are you thinking in regards to Class A? Are you worried enough to go ahead and grab Cade Smith, or do you think Cleveland is just committed to Class A?
Yeah, I would say, I saw someone talk about Class A. I saw someone tweet about how Class A is struggling and why. Why is he struggling? And I really feel like the majority of probably, well, maybe not 90%, but a very high percentage of the time, if a pitcher is struggling, it's because they're not locating properly. And I think Class A's entire problem is where he's locating his pitches. I just don't think he's locating well, because like his velocity looks fine. His stuff looks relatively fine. Like he shouldn't be getting hit this bad, but he's clearly just like, missing his locations, I think. Anyway, I feel like Class A is going to, at some point, they're going to be like, you got to go on the IL, make up an injury, because this is terrible. I think that's what's going to happen, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. It's been going on for a couple of weeks now. Cade Smith is he's someone I would look to stash or handcuff.
Yeah, I don't know if like the Yankees broke him in the playoffs and now he can't locate or what's going on. As you mentioned, the velocity looks fine, like the movement looks fine, like the numbers seem like everything should be okay. He's leaving it out. Guys are just handling it, even when he does kind of put it in the right areas right now. So yeah, I would go ahead and grab up Cade Smith. Hunter Gaddis would also be on that list. I don't think Paul Sewell is getting a chance. His numbers look worse than Class A's, or they're both pretty bad. So I would really be worried about him. But Cade Smith and Gaddis both have been good, as has Luke Weaver. So even if they're bad even if they don't get the job, they're still providing you with some value there. On Class A, Gray, just as we're looking at closers, would you trade him for Devin Williams?
Yeah, I would prefer Devin Williams over Class A. Class A looks really bad every time out. But yeah, I don't think trading apples for apples usually doesn't work. So trading for Devin Williams probably isn't going to work for you. But I would take Devin Williams over Class A.
All right. What about Class A or Ryan Presley?
I'd probably take a flyer on that Class A can figure his stuff out. So I would probably go Class A there.
All right. What about Tanner Scott?
I'd go Tanner Scott.
Okay. Luke Jackson?
Probably would go Class A, but it's close.
All right. So we're kind of getting to that area. How about Ryan Walker?
Ryan Walker, who looked terrible on Sunday. I would probably go Ryan Walker though, because it was just one bad game, hopefully.
Okay. So we've narrowed it down a little bit where Class A is fitting right now, and it's not great. So if somebody wants to give you draft day value, by all means, go ahead and take it. Over in Philadelphia, Alvarado didn't blow saves, but has allowed runs on back-to-back appearances. He's gotten 2 saves afterward, so assumption is that he's still in the role. But are you looking at Orion Kerkering or Matt Strahm as potential pickups here?
The last time the Phillies bullpen was safe was in 1981. So there's a long track record here of the Phillies having issues with their bullpen. I think I would go Kerkering as like a handcuff, but I think Alvarado still has he still has a fairly, I would say he's fairly safe for saves still. Even if he has looked a little iffy at times, I think it's still Alvarado. His job to lose, and he hasn't lost it yet. But he will. He will lose it. Don't worry. It'll come eventually. I would put the date at like June 1st as Alvarado's like due date. But yeah, Kirkring would probably be the guy I would be looking to handcuff potentially.
June 1st is very optimistic, Gray. That's still a long time from now. Why don't you give the people some waivers, Gray, and then I'll give some streamers, and then we'll get out of here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Rowdy Tellis. He's been really, when he's not knocking people out of the game by colliding with them, he's been really pretty hot. I think he had, I want to say 3 homers in the last 3 games. Austin Hayes has been insane. Probably rostered in a lot of leagues, but if he's not, Austin Hayes has been so good. And I think he's hitting cleanup on most days. Dylan Moore, another guy who's been incredibly hot. He got the job when I believe Polanco went down, and he's been playing every day. He's been hitting well. Reese Hoskins has been crazy hot. 2 homers, I believe, in the last 2 games, maybe. Tyler Fitzgerald, he got hot after a very cold start. Jake Fraley has been hot. Gavin Lux. Every Reds guy was hot because they put up 45 runs against the Orioles in back-to-back games. Mickey Moniak hit a home run the other day, and he was hitting leadoff for the Rockies because the Rockies have no game plan. They're just like, give us your cast-offs, and we'll put them in a really cushy spot in the lineup. Anyway, Pavin Smith has been hot. Trent Grisham has been incredibly hot. Put anyone in front of Aaron Judge, and it's a good spot. Ramon Liriano even has been very hot. Cameron Meisner, he's been hot for a couple weeks, I think. He has speed, and he's hit a couple homers. He's hitting 357 over the last week. And then, of course, Drake Baldwin. Everyone's clamoring for. He hit 2 homers this past week, and he hit 417 for the week. So he's been hot. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think the Rockies were in New York the way they really take the Statue of Liberty quote to heart, taking the poor and the tired on, just for the huddled masses there in Colorado. Streaming options this week: Jake Irvin versus the Mets, Andrew Heaney at the Angels, Severino versus the White Sox, JP Sears versus Texas, Matthew Liberatore versus Milwaukee, Andre Piante at Atlanta, Andrew Abbott at Miami, Eduardo Rodriguez versus Tampa Bay, Steven Matz at Atlanta, Eric Fetty at Atlanta and versus Milwaukee, and Simeon Woods Richardson versus the Angels. There's a bunch of options there. I was JP Sears. Is he a J.P or is he a JP, Gray? Do we know?
I believe he's a JP.
Okay,
I don't believe he's J period P period.
That's good. I didn't mess that up. That's good to know. If you find any other abbreviations that we missed it here, you can tell us in the comments on Razzball.
Actually, I didn't hear what you said, but it's E-ROD, E-Rod for Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know what you said. If you said E-Rod, then that's wrong.
It's not underscore or slash or forward slash.
No, it's hyphen. It's a hyphen. Sorry.
Okay. My bad. I apologize. Yeah. I also forgot to mention the hyphen in Simeon Woods Richardson. So
yeah.
I apologize.
Oh my God. All the people who left us before this, they went out and got the Simeon Woods Richardson without the dash. Now they're gonna have the wrong Simeon Woods Richardson.
Is dash acceptable, or do we need to go hyphen, Gray?
No, hyphen. Oh my God, I can't believe you said dash. No, hyphen.
Okay. I will clean it up for next time. I apologize immensely to everybody's family and anybody listening that is offended by the mispronunciation and non-conforming language of hyphen. I'll talk to you later, Gray.
All right, Lance.
Bye.